You are tired. An unseen weight, a constant obligation to maintain balance for everyone else. Be kind, understanding, polite always. You learned early that being good was right, that good prevails, that kindness is reciprocated. Be fair, honest, humble, and the world will recognize it. But what if it's a lie? A comfortable lie, keeping you predictable, controllable. How often have you silenced yourself for peace? Erased yourself to avoid disappointment? Smiled, said, "It's okay," swallowed tears, anger, pride, all for a supposed virtue that only made you ignored? Listen, the world doesn't reward the nice guys. It rewards the strategic ones. If you're here, you felt this frustration, try to be the good person. You're realizing the more you seek acceptance, the less respect you gain. The more you give in, the more they demand. The more you offer, the less you're valued. That's where Machiavelli enters. Not the devil, but perhaps the first to speak the raw truth about power. He understood something many refuse to accept. Pure morality detached from reality is a trap. Being seen as good isn't the same as being effective, fair, or worthy. We're talking without filters about why you need to stop trying to be a good person. Not becoming cruel, but waking up from the childish dream of a fair world rewarding virtue. We'll expose the uncomfortable truth. Pleasing everyone makes you their hostage. If you're tired of being used, ignored, discarded, maybe it's time to change, to learn from Machiavelli and finally take control. Ready? Let's start. The brutal truth. Kindness isn't currency. Do you still believe the world values good people? Look around. Who is admired? Who leads? Who earns respect? Influence? Are they the most generous, compassionate, just, or the most strategic, assertive, hardest to manipulate? The truth is brutal. The world is governed by utility, not kindness. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He didn't teach malice, but how the game is played. And a bitter lesson, being good isn't enough. Often, it's the quickest path to being discarded. You can spend your life loyal, kind, understanding, giving your best without expecting return. But the day you're no longer useful, you'll be forgotten, replaced, silenced, without a shred of guilt from the other side. The world doesn't measure your worth by morality, but by delivery, influence, impact. Notice how nice guys chase, justify, explain, trying to prove deserving. Meanwhile, those setting boundaries, saying no, presenting themselves clearly, are respected. They have voice, space. Why? Blind kindness is seen as weakness. Those who never confront never threaten, and those who don't threaten aren't taken seriously. They're seen as a resource, a tool, not a presence, an individual. The conditioned trap. Pleasing is fear. You weren't born wanting to please everyone. It was taught, conditioned. Childhood taught that acceptance came at a price, giving up parts of yourself. Forced smiles, swallowed desires, silenced opinions, all for approval. From "don't do that," it's ugly to be nice to "you're so polite." Little by little, you molded yourself to fit expectations. But pleasing all the time is an emotional trap, a psychological prison built with poisoned compliments and punishments disguised as education. You learned pleasing meant love, anger/boundaries/selfishness meant rejection. So you adapted to survive. The problem? Adaptation became submission. Today, saying no breeds guilt. You feel responsible for others' well-being, even if it destroys you. Frustration is kept silent, disappointment forgiven too quickly. You exhaust yourself maintaining an image others expect, not your essence, but what you learned brought security. This isn't kindness, it's fear. Fear of rejection, not being loved, being seen as bad. Being your true self with desires, anger, boundaries, voice. This fear has turned you into a self-saboteur, hiding behind socially accepted but emotionally destructive behavior. Subscribe on the channel to change your life forever. Reality is harsh. People react to your appearance, image, impact, not your intention. You might be the most just person, but if you seem weak, you'll be treated as such. You might have the most generous heart, but without inspiring respect, you'll be ignored. That's why the prince, and here, the prince is you, anyone wanting control, cannot be naive. Appear virtuous when convenient. Be strategic when necessary. Machiavelli says the prince must understand the animal nature. Be a fox to spot traps, a lion to terrify wolves. Be both cunning and imposing. The virtue he recommends isn't moralistic preaching, but virtue, courage, intelligence, audacity, self-control. Act coldly when needed. Knowing appearing cruel can maintain order, not for malice, but wisdom. The middle path, beyond nice and cruel, there's a fatal confusion. The idea that to be good, one must be submissive, silently accepting everything. Forgiving without question, swallowing what bothers you for peace. This isn't kindness, but naivety, cowardice disguised as virtue. True kindness doesn't require self-nullification, but awareness, clarity, choice. Being good isn't being a cheerful fool, always available, smiling, sacrificing for the unreciprocating. That's self-abandonment, emotional dependency disguised as morality. Naivety believes in reciprocity, gratitude, consideration, and lives frustrated. Projecting non-existent nobility onto others. True kindness is firm, knows how to say no, how to walk away, understanding not everyone deserves your best. The rebirth, authentic power, many waking up to their submission make a dangerous mistake. Becoming cold, insensitive, cruel. The rebound effect. True liberation is wholeness, acting for yourself, not others. It's not good or bad, but real. Looking in the mirror, knowing you can be kind, but never again passive. Compassionate, but never again permissive. Extending a hand, but no longer begging to be seen. Your voice matters. Practice saying no. Observe who is bothered by your change. Stop trying to be understood by everyone. Replace the desire to be accepted with a commitment to authenticity. The decisive moment, loved or free. How long will you keep pretending to be the nice guy? Sacrificing energy, voice, dignity for an image that isn't yours? This isn't virtue. It's a psychological prison. No one is going to free you. As long as you're willing to be used, someone will use you. This isn't malice. It's reality. You can continue being that ideal good person, preparing for frustration and invisibility. Or you can wake up, decide now your kindness won't be a collar. Act with intention, presence, firmness. Choose generosity wisely. No longer give what you don't receive. No longer seek approval like a begging dog. The world respects those who respect themselves. You'll only be free when you stop asking permission to exist.